nice. Better get right, champion. I'm a team. Talking and taught me nice. I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, champion.
And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is YSN Live for this Thursday. Almost said Wednesday. We made it through, folks. Hey, we made it through Wednesday. All right. Happy Thursday to you. It is the 20th of February, 2025. DJ Yoakley, Anthony Hartwig. You're watching YSN Live, brought to you by our friends at Greenwood Chevrolet. Thank you so much to Greg Greenwood and the whole crew out there at Greenwood Chevrolet making this possible for you. Really, I mean, how stupid is it that we get to do this every day? This is absolutely ridiculous, Anthony, that we get to talk about sports. Dumb. But people like it, so it works.
We give them what they want, right?
We give the people what they want. That's all you need to do. And just two schlubs talking about local and regional sports, and certainly going to do that today. We got a great show. Lavraine Gaskins from Crestview will join us in a little bit. But at this time, we are joined by a state champion, by the AAC Player of the Year for the girls. Ladies and gentlemen, a darling off any playing surface, high character young lady, but on whatever playing surface you're going to take her on, two words come to mind. Good luck. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we bring in Jenna Treveri. Hi, JT. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it as always. I mean, I feel like a broken record saying this. Every time I sit down and talk to you, or anybody from YSN talks to you, it starts with, you're having a heck of a season. This one stands out a little bit, obviously. So you're having a heck of a season, Jenna. How has this year been for you personally?
Personally, it's been very well, actually. I've not had anything that I've been really struggling with this year. You know, I've been working a lot in the summer, so I'm just really happy that everything's starting to pay off.
Then you look at this basketball team. Last year had a great senior class. You had to graduate, which means you come into this season, you know you're going to get responsibilities put on you. You know you're going to have to step up as a leader, and boy, have you. We got all those introductions out for you. What has it been like kind of trying to be more of a leader this year, more of a vocal leader and an emotional leader to this team?
It's honestly been great. I love it. I love how younger girls can look up to me. I love how, you know, even the seniors can count on me. So I'm really happy that I did get the role into being a leader. You know, I had a lot of girls that I looked up to when I was a freshman, even last year. So I'm really happy that girls can now look up to me.
I'm looking at the calendar, and there's a lot of people that have approached me and said, geez, Louise, when does Jenna Treveri graduate? Like, we're tired of seeing her year after year. Like, is she like a 9-year senior at this point? You're still a junior, Jenna. How have you done all this in your life? You know, I mean, playing every sport known to man, I'm pretty sure. What is it like a day in the life of Jenna Treveri, being able to pack all this into your suitcase that you carry with you on a daily basis?
You know, it's sometimes a struggle. There's sometimes like days where I'm just like exhausted. I don't even know what to do half the time. So, I mean, it's really crazy, but it's so much fun.
It's fun when you're having the success you're having, especially. We talk about this Canfield team this year, and I've seen you guys a handful of times. I know we've had you on YSN plenty of times. Defense is the calling card this year for the Cards. What's it been like to get together as a defense, especially? You have a couple of new faces coming in there. They all kind of get the program. You've brought them along. What's it been like this year that leads to this success, especially on the defensive side of the floor?
We have a lot of girls that really focus on defense, and you know, we have a lot of girls that use their offense into their defense, so they score a lot from defensive transition. So, you know, we have a lot of new faces that have been doing really well, like Jenna Havrilla, Lori, Janone. We have a lot of girls that have really stepped up this year into the role of playing defense, and that's why our defense is so great, because we have 5 girls on the floor always that are so dedicated on stopping their offense.
Jenna, your game is always based off of speed. That's like number one off of whatever you do. I mean, everybody, you're faster than everybody. So when you eventually lose a step, have you started building in like, I don't know, a parachute, so to speak, of things that you're going to be able to lean on? I mean, obviously your IQ of the sports that you play, particularly in basketball, off the charts. But like, have you ever thought about, okay, how am I going to make myself more rounded in case something ever happens? I mean, you've battled through adversity with injuries before. You know that speed is the first to go. What have you done to kind of backfill your catalog of your skill set moving forward?
Yeah, this year I've been working out more, so I've been obviously in the weight room trying to get stronger, just so even if I can't beat somebody, I can out physical them. I also spent a lot of time this summer in the gym shooting because I was always used to just going by people, but I knew that this year was going to be a little bit different. So I extended my range a little bit, and that's also been helping us score.
So in the last couple answers, you've talked about your leadership and you've also talked about the younger players that are stepping up this year. As a leader, how proud are you to see these players that are stepping into new roles, stepping into the limelight a little bit and just succeeding every challenge that they've been kind of put in front of? It's not easy to, and you played as a freshman. It's not easy to just kind of be thrust into the varsity level. What's it been like for you as a leader of this team now to see younger players kind of do what you did as a freshman?
Yeah, I mean, proud is an understatement of how proud I am of these girls. I love working with all of them, and I see every single one of them trying to get better every single day. So, I mean, I've experienced that obviously when I was a little younger than them, but I'm so proud of how hard they've been working. And, everyone at practice wants to be there. Everyone wants to get better, even if they're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. So, this team is just so much fun. I can't like remember a team like this that I've just had so much fun all the time because everyone is so competitive and everyone wants to win. So practices, there's a little bit of fighting just because of how competitive everyone is. So I mean, I'm just having so much fun this year.
Your leadership's been outstanding. I mean, and you've been called upon to be a leader since you were a freshman. We've alluded to that a couple times. How has your leadership style changed over the last 3 years and really becoming the lead bird, so to speak, in the Canfield locker room wherever you go?
Yeah, I mean, my freshman year, I had four seniors that year that really spoke to me and helped me out. So, my freshman year, I was a little quiet. I didn't really want to say anything because I didn't want to be wrong. Last year, I had, again, four seniors that were just incredible. I loved them so much and I had so much fun playing with them. And they really showed me, like, how to become a leader. And even when I got hurt, I started becoming more vocal because I knew that some players needed help and I played that position, so I had to help them. And this year, it just totally like took off. I've been a leader and I've been trying to be like that for the younger girls because I always had somebody that I could look up to. So I just want to be that person to all the younger girls.
I was a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie to you because you started talking about not wanting to say anything because you didn't want to be wrong. That has never stopped a Treveri in the history of the world. So I was going to stop you right there. I'm glad you kept going, Jenna.
Jenna, you don't get that role of leadership without the coaching staff trusting you to be there and telling you that you're the person that we want in that role. Talk about what it was like to have those conversations with Coach Reel and Coach Pav and the staff before the season even started, and they said they're going to trust you to be in this role this year of one of the main leaders, and they trusted you to get that accomplished.
I had a lot of talks with Coach Real. I mean, even last year when I was hurt, there was a lot of tears. So me and Coach Real really developed a really good relationship between the two of us, and we've been honest with each other. When something's not going right for me, I make sure to let him know, and he makes sure to let me know. We have a good coach and player relationship, so he's really brought me and I'm so glad that he allowed like the trust into me so that I could lead this team. And I know that we have, there's 8 varsity girls and we all lead in our different ways. So, it's not just me that's a leader. Every single girl on that team is a leader.
Success oftentimes can kind of fill up your belly a little bit from a standpoint of not, kind of quenching that thirst of being hungry for a championship or you necessarily wanting to work harder. After winning a state championship in softball, what has it done for you?
Oh, it honestly, it just made me want to win a state championship in basketball. You know, I've had so much fun in softball, and you know, we had a great leader, Milena, that really brought us there. So, you know, I want to be that person to bring us to another one. So I'm really excited to see how the season continues, but we just have to keep taking it day by day.
You know, Jenna, one of the things that we've talked to your other teammates about is how much they want to do it for the seniors this year that have put in a lot, that have kind of gotten their time to be seniors. You have two of them in Marina and Aline. What has it been like from your perspective to go out and fight for those two and try to make sure their senior year is as good as possible?
Yeah, I mean, these two seniors, they put a lot of work into the program and they've had a little bit of a diversity. So always working for the seniors is really something that all the underclassmen want to do, you know, like freshman year we wanted to do it for our seniors, last year we wanted to do it for our seniors. That's just going to be an ongoing tradition that the younger underclassmen want to do. So, you know, we just have to play for them, and you know, I know that they don't want their season to end and they're going to lead us. So, and I'm going to help them. So we're going to be good.
Just playing a little I Spy, and behind you there's a giant T. Obviously stands for Treveri. I know that's a name that is synonymous with success here in the area. There's a lot that comes with it. Do you ever feel pressure, kind of hoisting that last name? You've done so well for it. And what do you want people to remember about the J Treveri? Well, I guess there's a lot of J Treveri, Jenna Treveri aspect of it. When you're all, I know you got a while to go, but when it's all said and done, what do you want people to remember about you most?
You know, just how hard I work and how much the sport actually means to me. You know, not a lot of people understand that. People sometimes just think, oh, they're just playing in high school just to stay active and stuff. But no, like this sport has meant something to me since I've been in first grade. And I want people to understand that I've worked really hard for the success that I've gotten. So I just want people to remember how hard it is, how hard you need to work for success to happen.
We've already talked a little bit about the adversity you went through, especially last year, the couple injuries that you had to deal with. We've talked about what it took to get through that physically, but mentally getting through adversity like that. What were some of your routines and some of the things that you leaned on to get through that and to work through that and then find the light at the end of the tunnel? Because there's a lot of people out there that might be going through it this year that need to hear like, hey, how did JT get through it? How did one of our role models kind of get through the adversity that she got through? So how did you get through yours, and what kind of advice do you give to people that are going through it now?
Yeah, I mean, when I was going through my injury, I put a lot of trust in God to let him to guide me into the right direction. So that's honestly how I got through my ways. I read the Bible, I did things, my family helped me. So honestly, that's how much the injury meant to me, getting hurt. So I put a lot of trust into God. And in my opinion, any advice that I can give to anyone else that's struggling with something is just put it into God's hand, you know, let him handle it, and you just keep living.
And that's why you're better than all of us. Naturally, you're my hero. Because listen, what you went through, and you look to the Bible and you look to God. I get a hangnail and I go to Google and WebMD, and it's a bad thing. Like there's a lot of stuff out there that people could point to and be like, you're going to die from that hangnail. So Jenna, we're so happy that you you went to the Bible and not to Google for this particular injury. In all seriousness, you are someone that a lot of young girls look up to. When you play, anytime you play, you stand out amongst the crowd. So when you hear stuff like that, what do you, I mean, it's not something that you asked for necessarily, but how does it make you feel knowing that there's little girls out there that want to fill your shoes in someday?
Oh, it makes me feel great. You know, I always had those people, including my sister, that I always looked up to and I always wanted to play like. So I'm just super happy that I get people that look up to me. And, you know, some people, you know, want to play like me, just like how I wanted to play like older girls. So it makes me so happy that people look up to me like that.
You're a hero. Who are your heroes in life, though? Who are the people that you kind of put on that pedestal to say, they're going to be my hero, they're going to be who I look to?
Definitely my parents and even my siblings. You know, they went through a lot of diversity playing sports, so I look up to them a lot. And, you know, any single time I need advice, I go to my parents. So I look up to my family a lot, and they're my heroes.
All right, let's get serious. Okay. It's just us talking. Nobody's going to watch this. Who's the best athlete in the Treveri family?
Definitely me, I would say.
Yes.
And I think everyone would agree with me, so.
That's all I wanted. I'm done.
And
No further
if
questions, Your Honor.
if they don't agree with you, they know where to find you, right?
Right.
What
Just
kind of
be a
ways?
catcher.
What kind of ways do you guys get competitive? Like what's the most competitive thing this family kind of fights with each other about?
Pickleball. Every single summer, every single day we play pickleball, and we still have fights about it to this day. Even though it's winter and we haven't played in a couple of months, we still fight about pickleball because my family knows that they can't beat me, so they get really upset.
Is there a trophy for pickleball?
No.
Oh,
We
Can we
just
make one?
seriously we play in my driveway, and we have like some friends come over, we had like our cousins come over, even for like birthdays or something, like some type of celebration in the summer. We play pickleball. We play pickleball, spike ball, and cornhole, and there's always competitiveness every single day. Someone's always mad about something when someone loses, so it's so much fun when you see people mad because they lost.
are you a trash talker at all?
No.
Not at
um
all.
With my family, when they come after me first, then I'll say stuff, but I don't usually like go up to people and talk trash.
So when your family does start Jenna, I think we all know that they're not always the starter. Um, Scale of 1 to 10, how good your trash talk?
Mm, I would say about an 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
But
good.
I don't start it. They come
Right.
after me and I just finish it. So
You can hide behind that smile all you want. We all know who you are. Uh, that's all I got.
Jenna, one of the ways that I like to end the player profiles that we do, just want to give you the time to shine lights on people in your life. And I know we've done this with you a lot, and you've probably shined a light on a lot of people. So I'm going to challenge you a little bit today. Maybe someone that you haven't mentioned in interviews past that you think maybe under the radar in your life that deserves a little bit of a mention today, that really means a lot to you and a lot to your journey.
my grandma D, if I didn't mention her, she would have been a little mad. So definitely her. She hasn't missed a game. Her and my grandpa never missed a game, and it just means so much to me how much they support me.
Jenna, thank you so much for taking time out. Always. I mean, anytime we need you, you're there and you make yourself available to us. And there's a reason that so many people look up to you, and those little kids want to wear your jersey, want to wear your number, and certainly be like you when they get older. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for us, for what you continue to do to the game that you play. And certainly we wish you the best of success moving forward.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. We appreciate all you guys do for us.
Thanks, Jenna. Appreciate you. There she goes.
JT.
And one of the best, one of the absolute best when it comes to on the floor, on the field, whatever. I mean, she could be on the ice. She'll probably just skate circles around somebody, never ice skating before. I mean, she's just incredible. She's a super athlete, a great young lady, and dare I say, the daughter that everyone would want. You know what I mean? Being a father myself, you look at young ladies like Jenna Treveri and you're like, man, I hope my daughter ends up like that.
One of the things that really impresses me about her this year, especially in the basketball court, is there were people that doubted. There were people that kind of, for some reason, I don't know why you would after all that she's done. There were people that said, I don't know if Jenna Treveri can be that person to lead this Canfield team back to the top of the mountain and get them to where their seniors got last year. And I'm just sitting there hearing that in the preseason going, huh. And then ACC Player of the Year, winning the AAC, just a junior, probably going to do it next year too. Who knows?
You better knock on wood, by the
coming
way.
up.
You better knock on that wood.
I got it. We got you, Jen.
She's in the green room, just
right,
scowling at you right now. No, I agree with you 100%.
Right.
The resume she's building right now, and the most important question is one that I can't really ask yet because, again, she's only a junior. What do you want to do at the next level, if anything? Do you want to play a sport? What sport is it? I thought about throwing it out there, but why at that point? She's still got another year to think about what she wants to do.
Yeah, and this is like the year where you start to get contact with coaches. This is the first year they can talk back to you. So there's a lot probably getting put on her desk that she's now going to have to sort through and decide really, what she wants to do, where she wants to go. So there's the junior year. If you're in the recruitment process, it can come at you pretty quick.
She's having fun though. You could tell
Oh, yeah.
by the smile. We have fun with that because we love the Treveris. We're huge fans of them. Obviously, they appreciate what we do, on a daily basis at YSN. But that's a family name that there is a lot to live up to. And across the entire family,
Yep.
not just that specific brand of Treveris.
Yeah, when you see a Treveri come in, well, this is legacy builder, right? This is difference maker, legacy builder type of stuff.
The heart beats a little bit faster, right? If you're guarding a Treveri or you're throwing to a Treveri or whatever it may be, you know that they're set. They're ready to go. And Jenna is no different from the standpoint of, making that bar just go a little bit higher for everybody else. So congratulations, Jenna Treveri. Thank you so much for taking time with us today. Can't thank her enough because, it is a Thursday, and so she's probably got some things to do.
Canfield getting ready to play in a district championship game on Saturday. They're going to take on the 8-seed Crestwood Red Devils, which are in a situation actually that Canfield was pretty familiar with back before this division got expanded, where Crestwood is now one of the smaller teams in Division 4. Canfield spent a lot of time being one of the smaller teams in Division 2 not too long ago before the divisions expanded to 7. So now they're playing a team that's kind of in the boat that they were in for a long time, and they're going to be playing at Lordstown High School on Saturday, and we wish them the best of luck, and all the teams really. But since we're talking Jenna Treveri and the Canfield Cardinals, Canfield's gearing up for a district championship.
And just a reminder for those of you out there that are maybe never seen the Canfield Cardinals play this year, shame on you, by the way. If you would like to sponsor a game, we have sponsorships still available. The Canfield game's still available to be sponsored. Anthony said it is being played in Lordstown, so it is within pretty easy driving distance, not just for spectators, but for our broadcasters. If you would like to, or you can't go to the game and you want to see it, reach out to us, social media, info@ysnlive.com. If you know somebody, tell somebody you want to sponsor it, and we'll get an announcer out there. Hopefully, within the next 24 hours, it gets sponsored because it gets kind of hairy the morning of, right? Saturday morning, you wake up and you have an epiphany of, hey, I'd really like to sponsor. We'll do the best we can, but we make no guarantees at that point because
that's when we turn into used car salesmen where there's no guarantees. There's no buybacks, no guarantees on Saturday morning.
Wow, used car salesman. Look at you.
No buybacks, no guarantees on Saturday morning, but we try.
I've heard better comparisons of YSN than a used car dealership, but I'll roll with it because I can appreciate where you were going with that. But yeah, it does get a little sketchy on Saturday morning if you want a game covered at 1 and you're calling us or texting us at 12:25. Unless you're Elon Musk and you got a SpaceX rocket ship, there's probably going to be a no. But there is still time. The alarm bells have not been ringing yet. Head on over to ysnlive.com. Contact us page. Anyway, you know how to get a hold of us. You sure know how to get a hold of me when I don't want to be gotten a hold of. So come get me now.
And the good thing, if it's at Lordstown, that's a brand new YSN gym too. Shout out to the Red Devils.
That gym is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, man.
Awesome.
And they have room for everybody. If you want to bring a crowd, they got 2 rows of seats on both sides, so you'll be set.
Beautiful. We have Lorraine Gaskins coming up here in a little bit. Wanted to talk to you, Ant. It was going to be my spark, but one of the things that is so challenging in this world, and I'm trying to kind of build the plane in the air here, so hang in there with me. There is a connection that announcers have with teams have with announcers, and when you see, and unfortunately, life is life, right? The worst part of life is death, but it's inevitable no matter which way you put it. Mike Lang, who is the Pittsburgh Penguins, longtime legendary broadcaster, passed away yesterday after being sick for a while. And it got me thinking because, I grew up a Penguins fan, even though I know terrible timing wearing a Rangers shirt, but it has JT Miller on the back and they're playing tonight. Bear with me. Long time Penguins fan, loved him. Have a shirt that's still from 1992 that my dad bought, for him and then passed along to me. My favorite Penguin shirt ever. But the coolest thing about what we do in the fraternity that we're in of broadcasters is that there is an everlasting legacy that we leave with the soundtrack of seasons and championships and big games and big moments that you can fill with words and fill with emotion. Mike Lang, I know Mike Ackelson, who we all know and love, was Mike Lang was one of the best to ever do it. And I'm not talking about just regionally. I'm talking about maybe the greatest hockey announcer in history. And he was a baseball guy, and he just was looking for a chance. The story goes that he turned in his resume to the Pittsburgh Penguins with 2 pennies taped to his cover letter and said that I want to give you my 2 cents. And the creativity,
hire him on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, the creativity that you have to have in this industry, and there's a lot of, well, this guy sucks, and this guy stinks, and this guy's okay, and he said my name wrong. There's a lot of crap that you take, right? But there's a lot of the intention is pure, and wanting to be there for those moments, and yeah, there could be a little ego in it as well. But there's also an intent of you can't do it anymore necessarily yourself, but you don't want to be away from the game. And Mike Lang did such an unbelievable job of making you want to be there. Like no matter where you were in the world. And I think that's what makes a great broadcaster. But what I'm trying to get to, Anthony, again, building the play in the air, is how challenging it's going to be, even on a night like tonight, to watch a hockey game and not even when a goal's scored, even when a Penguin doesn't score it, to hear or to watch a game be played and not try to replace, scratch my back with a hacksaw, or get in the fast lane, grandma, the bingo game's ready to roll, or Elvis has left the building. There's moments as an announcer, and I'm sure you go through this too, that connection with that community, the connection with that city, the connection with that sport. You just get lost in the moment. And Mike Lang felt lost in that moment all the time. But man, he was like Siri. He was just GPSing. The way he used tonality, he'd bring you in with a softer voice, and then he'd get you when there's big moments. It was a huge influence on me as a broadcaster. Not even with YSN, like wanting to get a degree in broadcasting, because I wanted those moments for other people. I wanted to give those moments to other people. It's a craft. Mike Lang was the best. I really do believe the best at that craft in the world. One of my favorite broadcasters of all time. I've already cried twice. If you watch real close, let me give you a little thing. If you watch real close in this Leverian Gaskins interview, you could probably see the puffy eyes. But to lose someone like that, it's a challenge. But what I keep going back on, Ant, is when someone makes an impact that size, when someone is so profound, so good at their job, and especially in this industry, you can just go back and listen to them over and over again, and they're never really lost. So thanks for letting me get that out. Mike Lang, we're going to miss you. We love you. To your family, I got to meet the guy one time, and I thought he knew me forever. Like it was like meeting a long-lost grandpa.
Right.
And, you don't have the voice, kid, but you got the enthusiasm. Like, that's a terrible impression. But, in a different world, different life that I was living, a different career, I had the opportunity to walk into the Penguins building and meet some of the top people in that building, and Mike Lang was there. And I just remember sitting there with some very important people in that room. I just met Mike Lang, who was the reason that I went to Westminster College, was
Mhm.
the reason that I got into broad. I mean, that guy, yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to scream, Michael motorcycle? Like it's when we get to do what we do, you hear it on
Right.
top plays all the time. Like you hope to come up with one of those. And he had so many that have impacted so many, and people have said his sayings without even knowing he was the OG that said it.
Mhm.
And he's going to be missed, man. It's a big hit for broadcasting, sports broadcasting specifically, and he's going to be missed. So I don't know. Did you ever listen to Mike Lang?
I honestly didn't, because I've never been huge into hockey, and I probably haven't heard one of his broadcasts. But now that you said that, I'm gonna have to go do some research and maybe try to pick the brain, because that's one of the great things about what we do, because we're always putting our voices out there. That means that, like you said, we're never kind of gone. We can always, our voices are always going to be out in the airways, which I'm sure that, somewhere down the line, when death knocks at our door, which will happen to everyone at some point, there are going to be people that miss us, that are going to be grateful that there's always going to be places they can go to hear our voices, because there's a lot of people that don't get that opportunity to ever hear the voices of their loved ones again.
No, I agree. I mean, I have a
So-
voicemail on my phone from my mom, I've never erased it. I think that's one
Right.
of the most important possessions that I have at this point. And VHS tapes, yes,
Mhm.
VHS of my dad. So, like, it's one of those things. Like, it made me think more about us and our legacy, right?
Mhm.
About the voice that we have and how powerful it is, and what we do. Because doing these interviews and stuff like that, I know people appreciate them. There's no doubt. But and this isn't us patting ourselves on the back. It's just how weird is it that 40 years, 50 years, 100 years, when people are looking up, what Grandma Jenna Treveri
Right.
was like when she was a high schooler, we're going to be attached to that because
Wow.
there's digital fingerprints all over the place.
And then you start thinking about the amount of interviews you've done and the amount of times that's going to happen. It's just
Who was
it's
the bald
brain-melting.
idiot talking about like that's what it's all going to be.
You
But it's wild to think about, right? And death affects us all in different places,
right.
and in different ways, and it comes in waves. But it was crazy. I tried to get Mike Ackelson on. He's crazy busy right now because I think he would be able to sum it up. Because I believe Mike crossed paths with him several times. Like Mike interned at KDKA, and he's a Pennsylvania guy. There's no doubt about that. I mean, just listen to his accent. He's got the Yinzer in him, strong. But it's one thing that I take a lot of pride in every day. But I think now moving forward, it's something that I'm going to kind of let people know. Like, if you're going to broadcast the way you broadcast, I think being able to understand that it's not just about your legacy. It's not about your next game. It's about how people will remember you right then and there. Because there's big moments that you don't know are big moments
Right.
until they've already passed you by. And
Right.
I think it's an eye opener for us, but it's certainly it's tough. When Myron Cope passed, it was the same thing for me. And Jim Donovan for Browns fans, and certainly, everybody's got the voice of, what sports were when they were younger.
Mhm.
And it's crazy to think about. Like, I don't deserve this. And you don't. You're great. I don't think either one of us deserve to be on the level of
No.
Mike Lang or anybody like that.
Don't put me there.
But the truth is people are going to talk about it like that. You know what I mean? Like, if something happened, you saw it most recently, obviously, when you had your issues, but like, people are going to associate our voices, our faces, our likenesses, our brand with great moments in their life for the rest of time. And it's wild because that is not even close to why this thing started.
That is a humbling thing to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Jimmy, I don't have a mouse, Anthony, so you're going to have to.
You want to play the Levrain? Is that what
We
you're
got a
going
couple
for? Or do you
comments.
want a commercial? Oh, a comment.
We
Okay,
got a couple,
let's get to it.
and I apologize. I can't mute either.
We got a heart. Love the hearts.
Jimmy Joza. I mean, he's an unbelievable photographer.
Yes.
But the guy is an artist and he's a wordsmith as well. So very cool. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate your 2 cents. Jimmy Donovan. Yeah. That's it. I mean, everybody's got him. And you can think back, to your youth and childhood. And who was it for you, Anthony? Like who was the person that made you want to get into broadcasting?
Well, for me, the one that I look to is, Kevin Harlan. Like I've said on the show before, when I was growing up, the highlights of the Chiefs were all Kevin Harlan. He was the play-by-play radio guy for Kansas City in the early 90s and late 80s. So when I'm growing up in the 90s and I watch back the highlights and I have all these, tapes of the Chiefs yearbook for 1992 or whatever, or, it's always Kevin Harlan going, "Oh, baby, what a play," for Kansas City. And now he's one of the guys that is, big and nationally known. And he's really known for his basketball, but also radio. He's just a good radio guy. He still does radio for NFL. When he's not doing play-by-play for CBS, he's off doing the
Westwood
radio
One.
side of things for the Super Bowl and the radio side of things so he's just a good radio guy. And I've always been a strong, component of, like, if you don't know how to do it on the radio, you're going to struggle to do it on the video side of things. Like, you got to be a radio guy first, and you got to be able to paint that picture when you can. So I know I started YSN radio. We were audio only for a while before we transitioned to video. And then another guy that I just want to give a shout out to, because there was a long time, like between 10 years old and maybe like 20 years old, where like broadcasting wasn't really on my radar. I was trying to be a film student so bad. I wanted to be in the film industry. I was making films with my friends in high school. But then when I got into college and started to realize how much I kind of really still had that passion for sports broadcasting, there was a fellow student of mine that was older than me, about to graduate, and his name was Corey Christen. And he went on to, get his next degree at Syracuse, and I think he's working for the ACC network and all that fun stuff. But he was the one that kind of brought me back into broadcasting, and working with him for a year with YSU volleyball was so valuable to my broadcasting career. So I want to give him a shout out too.
We want to know who your influencers are out there. When you think about your favorite team being broadcast and, your favorite memory of your favorite team, who's that voice that is playing it for you? We want to know in the comments. Drop those there. But for now, we had a great time talking to one of the most outstanding shot blockers and rebounders in history of our area, Lavraine Gaskins. Excited to bring this interview to you. Anthony had some really good questions in it, and she had some really great answers. So stick around and watch this interview with Lavraine Gaskins of the Crestview Rebels. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for a Crestview Lady Player Profile right here on YSN. DJ Yoakley, Anthony Hartwig. Anthony, this is a young lady that has made waves over the last 4 years. A young lady that doesn't need an introduction, but deserves one. A young lady who is, I believe, the all-time leader in Crestview for rebounds, if I'm not mistaken, breaking all kinds of records along the way. A young lady we've been so very fortunate to know about. Anything you'd like to add to that incredible resume already?
Probably the most feared post player in the area. I think anytime you're going up against someone that is this dominant, and no one makes an impact like her in the paint.
And one of the most unique names in the area as well, and she will make you remember it. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we bring in the lady in the middle, the power, just tower of power, I guess, for the Crestview Lady Rebels, Lavraine Gaskins. Hi, Lovey. How we doing?
Hi, good. How are you guys?
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us here today. It's been a long time coming. You deserve this. Your moment in the sunlight. For you, being a senior, what has it been like to see this program built around you?
It's been great. Freshman year, starting with just 50-50, kind of like win some, lose some, and just like building the program up and just the growth that we've had with the team and the girls coming in. And it's just been a great 4 years.
I like that you reflect on your freshman year where there took some building blocks made that season before you got to where you are now with 3 straight appearances in the district championship. How much do you think that freshman season was important for your growth, the program's growth, and to where you are now?
A lot. I feel like freshman year, just being young, I had a lot of girls to look up to, though, had some seniors, and just kind of set the tone. And also just like the confidence boost, at least for me, just being freshman year, like starting varsity and getting that time and that experience that way. Like the next year when we had good girls come in, it wasn't like my first time out there. So I had a lot of experience and got to play a lot and definitely built up who I was as a player.
How has the culture changed in the 4 years that you've been there? I mean, you talked about the different players when you came in as a freshman. You stood out like a sore thumb when you came in. You were already intimidating, and now you roll through your sophomore, your junior, now your senior season. There's been a lot of changes from a standpoint of what it looks like to be a Crestview Rebel on your team. What does it feel like? How has that changed?
It's definitely gotten a lot more competitive, I would say, just with like the better talent around and practices and everything, and just girls who are like very competitive and athletic, and it makes practices better. And honestly, with the competitiveness, we all get really close to like just being close in age too. Like we started like as a young team. I mean, I was only a sophomore when Addison and Ava came in, and like it's just like brought us really close together, I feel like. So.
And I know the senior class especially is pretty close. We're talking to you, but there's other seniors on the team that have obviously meant a lot to the team's success. Talk about what it's like to go through this journey with that class and what it's like to have one last ride with your fellow seniors.
Yeah, it's been great. I love playing with Meyer and Lexi, I got to start playing with them more sophomore year, but just like freshman year too, like me and Lexi were always just like battling in the posts and stuff. And that's just something I'm going to miss a lot, leaving Crestview. But I'm excited and hope we go far.
With the growth of, some of those players you said that are under you, especially Addison, I mean, what is it? How has your role changed on this team from a leadership perspective? How has it changed from a scoring perspective? Because really, the majority of the time, you're just focused on getting the basketball and then getting it out to 3, right? I mean, you're going to naturally be open with what she brings to the table and what your teammates bring to the table, but you're not necessarily relied on to be pummeling people in the post, but you do so anyway, by the way. Congratulations to you. Kudos to you. But how has your role from a leadership perspective changed with all the great players around you?
It's a lot easier. It takes like a lot of the pressure off. We can do captains and we have like everyone is kind of, putting in their piece and like just kind of giving their advice. So I feel like it's a lot easier to talk about things that need fixed and things that are happening, and just takes like the pressure off and you can talk about it more. It's just easier to figure things out. I like it a lot. Everyone puts in their word. Everyone says how they feel. And I feel like it just helps our team kind of like build up and have that strong foundation that we need.
And then also I want you to talk a little bit about Coach Blatch and what he's done over the years to kind of build this culture and build the program up. What do you think he's brought to the table as the coach and the coaching staff as well? Just building this culture, building this program up to what it is now.
Blatch has done a lot for me, just being there in practices all the time and just helping me with any kind of questions I have, I thought he's done a great job just being able to like the scouting reports we get. And so we know who we are guarding and kind of just like personnel kind of things. He does a really good job with stuff like that and just knowing who we're going to be playing and being prepared. And I think that's a big help especially coming to tournament time. You kind of have to know like who the shooters are, where they are. I thought he's done a really good job, just teaching girls kind of like our defense, that's like one of our main things. I thought he's done a really good job just like emphasizing it, and throughout the season too. Like it isn't like just start at the beginning and like making sure we have good defense and stuff. Like he emphasizes it throughout the season, and I think that helps us too. So
you face your fair share of adversity over the last 4 years, both personally and through the team. We've seen some of the scores. There's been a lot of ridicule, a lot of criticism about the scores to the regular season, into the playoffs. How has what you've been through, this journey that you're on, how has it made you personally a little bit tougher, a little bit, finding yourself, I guess, and finding your voice through all the adversity, I guess, would be the best question?
Yeah, I would say this helped a lot, so after freshman year, losing first round, kind of, just struggling as a team. And then sophomore year, have like all this talent on the team, and it's like a young team. I used to not be very good at like leadership kind of, and talking to my teammates and stuff. But I thought like being like kind of like one of the older ones and more experienced people on the varsity team sophomore year, it was kind of hard to step into that leadership role. It took me a while to figure it out, but I got it somewhat figured out, and getting to just be able to help everyone grow and make us all like better as a better team and stuff. So
I got a follow-up question for you. District championship, you mentioned it. How much would a district championship mean to you and to the program if you're able to nail it down this year?
A lot. I mean, it's just sad to even think about. I can't even I remember like pulling up film from Keystone last year, district championships, and it's just so hard for me to watch. And the past 2 years, losing in the same spot, it's hard. So definitely this year, I'm hoping this is going to be the year, we're going to go far, and I'm really excited, but that would mean everything to me. So.
Well, we see one net behind you, but you also notice that there's some rungs there for more nets, right? There's room for a district net. There's room for a regional net. Why not a state net? Who knows? But what is also in the background is the hard hat. Anyone that follows your team on social media knows that after every game, a player wins a hard hat. Talk about what goes into winning that, what you have to do to win that, and then what it means to kind of have that honor when you do.
Yeah. So hard hat, it's honestly just like hard working pretty much, but just like the little things, effort, diving for balls, like hustling down the court, and also attitude. We put a big emphasis on attitude. That's something you can control. Like after mistakes, girls being positive or just thinking next play kind of thing, like going and getting a steal after a mistake or something, not just throwing their head down or, or complaining about calls and stuff like that, you can control. And we put a big emphasis on what you can control and what you can't. You're not hitting shots. It's okay. Keep shooting, and so I think deserving of a hard hat is people who follow those kinds of things and control what they can control, not necessarily, the one who scores the most or whatever. So.
Well, I didn't know we were playing I Spy, but since we're on it, I spy, other than a fire alarm, I spy a speaker in the background. So it makes me want to ask you the question, what tunes get you pumped up or kind of dialed down and dialed in for game night?
Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I kind of get down to anything. I listen to, the oldies, the rock. I listen to Drake. I listen to practices are mostly like Drake and 21 and some more like rap kind of things and stuff. Those always get me hype. I love that. I love rap, but I pretty much listen to anything. I kind of just grew up listening to a lot of different kinds of music, and minus country. I don't like country. I don't get down to that.
Who has the aux cord?
Usually it's Meyer. Meyer and Ava usually can join on the, music.
Is there you listed all those genres you like. Is there one song on the playlist that no matter what you're feeling or what the situation is will always get you up and ready?
Um, hmm. Um, I'm trying to think. Put me on the spot. I don't know. I can't pick one song.
We're
is what
good
we
at that,
do.
putting people on the spot. Wait till you get my question next. I got another great song question for you.
Oh gosh.
All right, let's go to that question. Since you got some time to think. Think about Anthony's, put it in the back of the Rolodex.
Oh, wait, it glitched. Did you ask
glitched.
it yet?
No, I didn't ask
Oh.
yet.
Okay.
Wait. We were building the dramatic effect of the next question.
Okay.
What is one song that describes this year's team, the 2024-2025 Crestview Lady Rebels?
Um.
Got her. Music was a bad choice here. It was a bad choice. Whoever brought that question up is a real idiot.
Oh, that's so hard. That's such a good question.
That's why they
Well,
pay me
I
the
can
big
hope. I can hope that I can play like "We Are the Champions" by Queen.
There it is. That a girl. Way to dig deep for that one.
Yeah.
So let's get back to basketball. I know you're pretty comfortable talking about this sport. And this year, one of the talks is that you guys have really beefed up your schedule. You know, you've played some big heavy hitters in the region across divisions, and you've taken some lumps because of that. What do you think those games, the Hobans, the Streetsboro, the Massillon Washingtons, what did that teach you about your team, and what did it teach you about, what you're going to take into this district championship?
Yeah, those games definitely helped. I think the year before that, we didn't really get to beef up our schedule as much as we wanted to, and I think going into tournaments, it was kind of like, oh, now we have to play, really good teams. So playing those teams, I thought was really good, and just playing better teams like that kind of just emphasizes the flaws and what you need to fix. Which is a valuable lesson. I think it's great to have teams like that. And also just it's so much fun to play teams where it's who's going to win, or like Streetsboro was a 4-point game. It was down to, the last seconds trying to score. And so those kinds of games, it's always fun also to just being nervous and getting used to that feeling. I know a lot of people in tournaments, especially younger, inexperienced kind of people, it's cameras are always on you, and it's a lot of pressure, and, a lot of people kind of just buckle under that. And it's good to get some good teams in the beginning of the season, so it's what that pressure feels like, and it's not a surprise to you.
That's an interesting confidence booster, right? Because it's in the middle of the season. You're playing these tough games, and you take a couple L's. You take a few L's, as a matter of fact. But that confidence actually grows throughout the rest of the season because you've played the toughest of the tough. Iron sharpening iron. How has your confidence changed since those games to now, knowing that you played probably some of the best teams in the state of Ohio, and obviously Crestview being one of those teams?
Yeah, I definitely after we played them after a while, kind of kept up with, what they were doing in their seasons and where they're placed and seeded and stuff. Because it's just interesting to just see, teams in different divisions and kind of where they're at in their season, and hey, I only we played them and we were close, and so it's definitely interesting, definitely confidence boost. Being in a smaller division than the teams that you played and being I'm competing with them, and keeping up. So,
Ray, my final thing for you is, talking about the future after Crestview. What are some goals that you have after you graduate? What's in the future goals for yourself?
To go play basketball. I don't know if you guys know, I'm committed, but to Bethel
where?
University.
There we go.
Bethel University.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Out in Indiana, but I like it a lot out there. So after graduation, probably just, getting to go up there and kind of just reset up, like find some friends up there and stuff. It's kind of far away. It's like 4.5 hours. So probably hopefully spending a lot of time down that way, and just basketball, hopefully, mostly just, any kind of like small workout kind of places I can get into. I'm going to like help coach my AAU team this year a little bit since I can't play. And I got a lot of girls on there that I like played with last year that, I'm going to miss playing with, but just to get to coach them and practice with them and stuff to try and just keep me in shape for my next season.
Is that one of the long-term goals for you? Is to wear the whistle one day?
I don't want to be a coach. No. And it's weird because, like, a lot of basketball players, it's like, I feel like everyone around me is always like, oh yeah, I love coaching. I love coaching. I like to give my advice and stuff, but coaching is just, I don't know how people do it. Kudos to Blatch, I could never. I'm more of just like a hype person, like, or something. I just can't.
I love it. You're the hype guy. You're the one, the towel waver on the bench, right?
She can be a good she can be a good volunteer assistant, right? The one that's just there to hype everybody up, give everyone a confidence boost.
I'll give you one lesson. Anytime there's volunteer in the title, it means you're not getting paid. Make sure you get yours, young lady. Make sure you get yours. Yeah. For you, I mean, obviously Crestview is a special place. Who have been some of the teachers in the hallways that have helped you get to where you are and influenced you as a person?
Definitely, I would say Mrs. Brunell supported me, kind of just confidence boost all the time. Talk about a hype man. She like always just like, you played so good last night, this and that, and didn't even like really like wasn't really even into basketball before we started playing. I would say around like sophomore year or something, and she started doing scoreboard and like learning the rules and stuff, and so that's definitely been a big help. She's also like the spirit club person, so of course she's like hype, and I would say, trying to think, teachers, Mr. Evans, and he comes to a lot of like practices and helps us out. He doesn't really like teach me. He's, I think, in the middle school or something. But I appreciate him a lot. He's just like making practices more competitive and harder and just like more fun. And he's always like trying to say stuff as like joke and like get us all fired up. So.
All right. And one more question for you. I know that you've been a huge role model to so many. You don't have to look far. I mean, Blatch's kids alone are looking on, and then you look at all the other young Rebel fans in that crowd, and then obviously the opposing teams that are in the gymnasium are looking to you each and every game as a role model, as someone they want to aspire to be like. Who are your role models? Who have kind of shaped you? Who has shaped you to be the young lady that you are right now?
Role models, I would say in general, probably my grandpa, I would say, kind of is just always, pushing me to be better and kind of like always telling me, it's what I want to do. And if I want to be good, I can be good. And kind of just always like helping me out and giving me advice and just expecting the most out of me, and just like I think that's been really helpful since I started basketball when I was young, just knowing like having that confidence from him and just like if I want to I can kind of thing. I would also say basketball wise, honestly, I used to kind of just love LeBron. LeBron was kind of just like the GOAT. He was kind of awesome. I used to have one of his pairs of shoes and stuff. I watched like some of his games. I never really used to like watch a lot of basketball though, but I would say out of like basketball players, probably like LeBron. I'm more so like Michael Jordan now, but
That a girl.
yeah,
That a girl.
yeah.
The real 23. I love it. Lorraine, we can't thank you enough. We're huge fans, obviously, of what you do on and off the floor. So proud of you and how far you've come along and to take it to the next level. They're getting a good one. They're getting a good one from Crestview High School. I can tell you that. Thanks for spending time with us today, and best of luck in the future. Best of luck on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, and thank you.
You got it. Take care.
Bye.
I don't know, DJ, are you good to come back on? See, he's on the phone, and I'm like, do I just crank up the mic and let this phone call go live on the air? Probably not, but I could. But that was a great interview with Lorraine Gaskins. We want to thank her so much for her time, and man, what a job she's done at Crestview. I'm talking like when I said before that interview in the introduction, most feared post player in the area. I mean it. Like most feared post player in the area. When you're playing Crestview, and obviously you have to account for Addison Rhodes a little bit. One of the things that you also just kind of know when you're playing Crestview is we better rebound the ball because we have someone on that in that paint that is dang good at rebounding the basketball. We good, DJ?
I'm back. All
right. But we're talking about Lorraine Gaskins and how much you just have to game plan for her and inside the post when you're playing.
Imagine, and I thought about this after the interview. Imagine having to be like, okay, here's what we have to do against Lorraine Gaskins. And then here's what we have to do about Addison. And you go down that entire, like, you're like, all right, sorry about her luck. You're like, we got a bad draw. Right. So, go out there and do your best. You know what I mean? The old attaboy, like, right. Move them on. Like, she's incredible. And she is the best player on every single team she plays on. And she gets zero of the headlines usually because everybody's talking about Addie Rhodes. Mm-hmm. For good reason. But, like, this is not an exaggeration. This is not a YSN pump them up piece. She is the best shot blocker in girls basketball I have ever seen. Ever.
Yeah, and there's a reason why she's also broken the shot blocking records and, is going to have her name up on that wall with a lot of Crestview legends, by the way, past and present, for a long time.
She's incredible, man, and well-spoken, and, I feel almost awful. I feel really bad. I'll give her that we found out this was her first YSN profile. How did that one slip through the cracks, pal?
I don't know. It's on us. It's on us. But we got her.
My favorite was after you're like, no. We interviewed you last year.
I could have swore we did, but you know what? I do so many that they all kind of blend together. But I could have swore, like, if you would have asked me before the interview if we'd done Lorraine Gaskins before, I'm sure we did. But I love being proven wrong. It happens a lot.
Hey, I got a question for you. What's the best way to get an interview, Anthony? Because we're being asked all the time. What's the best way to book an interview right here on YSN Live?
Reach out to us on our social media platforms. You send us a message that says, hey, whether you're a player, if you send us a message as a player and say, I would like to be interviewed, we're not going to tell you no. And then if you're a parent or a coach out there that thinks that you have a player that really deserves the limelight and you send us a message and give us a little bit of added information on what the player's doing, what they're about, we would love to schedule an interview with said player. We do not say no to anybody, no matter what the sport. We've done swimming this year. We've done diving. We've done wrestling, basketball, In the spring, baseball, softball, track, we'll have Rick Seipert on Wednesdays to do track interviews with us. Doesn't matter what sport you play. If you are doing something really cool and you want interviewed, send us a message. We would love to schedule one with you.
You forgot hockey.
And
Anthony,
you've done hockey. Yeah, you've done hockey. Yes.
One of the biggest days in hockey history in our lifetime. And you forgot hockey right there.
I'm the one wearing USA. So
I'm wearing JT Miller, who plays for USA. And by God.
By golly.
Great interviews today. Great show today. Naturally, Anthony, and again, this is fun. I'm having fun again doing what we do and when we do it from a standpoint of these interviews and shining a light on these youth sports heroes that should be recognized in their own communities. And we're looking forward to doing that. It is time for the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical, and you can visit them on the web 24/7, 365 at DickeyElectric.com.
Thunder. I love that, man. If that little bump doesn't pump you up, man.
That bump pumps you up?
Yeah, the bump of the Joe Dickey Electric,
Let me tell you what pumps me up. What sparks me today when these little legs popped out of bed and said, "Hey, today's Thursday." You know what that means? That means Canada, United States. 1-on-1 for supremacy of the four nations. I don't know if it's a cup. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea what they're going to hand out. They could be handing out Valentines for all I know. But I know one thing. Our Americans better show up. This guy, JT Miller, the pride of East Palestine, Ohio, representing our area, our region, our country in this four nations final. Last time got into a fight, little scrap. Will he get into it again? I don't know. But I know one thing. America's going to bring it home because that's what we do. GSD, get stuff done. And I don't know, people have been calling it a gold medal. It's not a gold medal. It's not the Olympics. But it is for America. There's a lot riding on the line right now. Bragging rights. Little brother stepping up, Ant. Little brother stepping up. We're winning this thing tonight. I'm telling you right now.
Let's go.
I don't know if we're really going to win it, but I'm real pumped up about it. More pumped up than the bumper. But I'm ready to go. What's your spark?
51st state, right?
That's right. The syrup all ours now.
When my spark today is just a shout out to all the athletes out there that are driving through adversity right now. We talked to Jenna Treveri about her adversity. And I know there are some girls and guys out there that it's a long season, whether you're doing wrestling and getting ready for sectionals tomorrow, or you're doing basketball and you're getting ready for sectional boys to start tomorrow and district championships for girls on Saturday. There's probably something you've gone through this season that has gotten you to this point, whether it be a physical injury, mental block, confidence issues, whatever it may be. You've been going through it. This is the time of year where you buckle down, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, you use whatever you have to do to get yourself through that adversity, and you find your way out of it, because this is when it's worth it. When you find your way out of adversity for a championship, this is when it's worth it. This is when that time kicks in, and this is when cutting the nets, when you're cutting those nets down on top of that ladder, you can say, man, I am really glad I got myself through whatever I was going through. So let's go. Let's get through that, and let's go win some championships.
Amen. Before we go, there is one more comment. I don't want to overshine or gloss over this, because we haven't talked to Sam in quite the while. 440 Sports Show says we had a guy named Joe Pete in Ashtabula that was hyper local from high school perspective. He's one of my biggest influencers, and because of the way that he made athletes feel. That's Sam Torres talking through the voice of 440 Sports Show. Sam, thank you for chipping in during the show. Hope you're doing well. Hope that the road is rising up to meet you, my brother, and certainly cannot wait to influence more, because Sam does wonders out there in Ashton Beulah. The voice of Beulah County certainly is Sam Torres, and that guy is. I don't know Joe Pete personally, but I got to imagine he is super proud of what Sam Torres does out there in the 440. So Sam, hey, keep doing it, buddy. We're proud of you. You're cutting down your own nets. You are certainly doing it, my friend. Ant, thank you for a great show today. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be in Mineral Ridge right after the show doing a signing for Brady Balestrino. So we're excited for that. Hopefully sit down with Brady at some point tomorrow and talk about his future. Ant, what do you look forward to tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow I'm looking forward to all the tournament games that are starting. It's started the boys sectionals. We also have Mohawk playing tomorrow in the WPIL quarterfinals. They punched their ticket last night. Bobby Fadden, another great performance, 27 points for the Warriors, getting them there. And then also tonight, the only game that's going on in the YSN family tonight, Beaver girls basketball playing in the WPIL quarterfinals at Montour High School, trying to punch their ticket to the state tournament. If they win tonight, they'll be guaranteed a spot in that state bracket. So let's go Bobcats, let's go Warriors, and all the other guys that are playing tomorrow as well.
Let's go Lady Cats. Let's go Pennsylvania. They're having a day here. All right. Yeah. I like it. I can appreciate it. Let's go. Yeah, that's going to do it for the show. Great show today. Thank you to Lorraine Gaskins. Thank you to Jenna Treveri. And God bless you, Mike Lang. We love you. We'll miss you. And certainly you will never be forgotten. For Anthony, I'm DJ. We'll see you on Friday, the 21st of February, right here on YSN Live. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.